Hey guys, it's Tor. So it turns out that there's a bunch of guys that watch us while we're saving the world and adventuring and not doing things for ourselves and making a profit. It's kind of creepy because they sit around and talk about what we did and then they judge us. Listen to them for yourselves. Let us know what you think. And hopefully you also find it creepy.
All right, and welcome to Behind the Screen.
Yay.
So, you guys
We're
found...
still alive.
Yeah, barely.
I can't believe we beat the game.
Yeah, why didn't you wish that from the cheating?
Because I rolled a 29, it wouldn't matter.
So you guys finally made it through the majority of the mansion, at least the mansion part of the mansion.
So it's like Resident Evil?
I never played it, so I'm going to nod and assume that's correct.
There weren't enough crank puzzles.
That's true.
Yeah.
I had to take a bunch out. People were saying there's too many. Any particular questions?
Okay, so I did it half lark, half hoping when Blag asked the butler to turn off the security system. Was that always something that you had intended, that if someone said that?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
There was... I had something built in that I didn't write down, and I plumb forgot, to be honest. But there's absolutely no reason the butler wouldn't be able to do that. He is the butler.
Yeah.
So when you said that, I was like, yeah, he can do that.
Okay.
So that's how it happened.
Excellent.
If we had triggered the alarm, would have just been the mummy waking up?
Yeah, it really would have just been the mummy, and also triggering the alarm there would have sent the Hound Master and Ubu up as well. But you guys kind of had a camaraderie there, so I was waiting to see how that would play out, because he wasn't just going to be like, attack, because he would be like, well, all right, you kind of know you guys, what's going on?
Yeah, I just spent an hour with them. It's a bond that never breaks.
Yeah, exactly. An hour with the person you're best friends for life.
Forever.
So, it would have been interesting to see how that played out, especially since he did have that lycanthrope bond with you.
Right.
So
my question is, what would have happened if we would have left Kevin with the siren?
Yeah.
She actually isn't evil. She just wants companionship.
Yeah.
So all she ever wanted was to have someone hang out with her. So that was actually a little...
Oh, Netflix and chill.
That was actually a little extra thing I threw in there. The only purpose to her is that if you had appeased her and somebody spent time with her, she would have told you secrets about the mansion.
God
because you would have won her over. And it didn't even have to be one of you guys. You guys could have tricked somebody else in the...
Liechtenstein need love.
mansion to stay with her, and she still would have just been happy that she got companionship for a little bit.
Well, we'll have to swing back.
I have to say that I admire Rath's ability to convince the scientists of the blood flow problem with the tentacles. And that went way smoother than I thought. I thought we were going to have to fight that monster.
Plus, I'd like to see if we actually had, like you said, have to fight the monster, and it's like already been sabotaged.
We still might.
Now it has a heart defect.
That was kind of my hope, in case it comes back later.
Yeah, that worked on many levels.
It's like, that's a heart attack.
Wrath casts control tentacle and just crushes the heart with the one that's already.
Sorry, bud.
That
went really well. Honestly, so far, I think the mansion has gone pretty well in terms of the siren not murdering court.
Anyone.
And character moments. I think we've had some
Oh,
good
yeah.
character moments.
I will say, part of the mansion going very well was probably with the DM and us struggling for 10 minutes on each thing.
Definitely.
Going, maybe you should try this.
Why don't you just tell me the answer?
I don't think I had to handle
it's-
out too many. The only one I kind of rushed was the butler giving out that information. That should have been a little bit more of a... But you guys gave up on him really surprised. Like, typically you guys nag people. And he was like, I don't know. And you guys like, all right, move on.
Well, he was the first. There was so much to explore. We're just like, and we're not going to remember to circle back and try again.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, guess that's it.
So,
We tried everything.
since we're on him anyway, was the intent that if we took, say, the heart and went upstairs to the room, would he have attacked us then? Like, I know we sent
Wrath.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna call you
His name's
Blag.
Wrath, yeah.
Are all of our names crossed too closely for some reason?
Oh, one syllable.
Tor,
Yeah.
Wrath and Blag. Yeah. They were all sitting across from each other with similar names.
So would he have?
He wouldn't have gone full Banshee on you immediately for that thing happening, but he would have been like, hey, showed up and like, hey, that's not the deal, and give guys chances. The butler wasn't the type to just be like, oh yeah, you didn't do exactly what we said. But if you guys kept insisting on not doing it, then yeah, eventually he would have turned on you, and he was going to be like, go evil spirit, like the walls were going to start bleeding, things were going to start flying off shelves, like that was going to become a true, complete, full hell house. So good job not doing that.
Yeah. No, again, I think that was a plan that worked out super well. I mean, I could say that because the genie knocked the mummy down so much that it didn't even get a chance to attack. So, but I think everything
was so relieved that it was after your attack. The mummy went down. I was like, oh, thank God.
So I mean, I guess to go to that one, that was just a fun oops.
Oh my God, I can't believe that happened that way.
What was it? It was like the cover stories. Oh, we're just cleaning the stuff.
That's what it was. I grabbed the bottle, started polishing. The idea is I was going to slip it into my pocket after I was done, not thinking that a genie was going to.
But what did you think it would be?
Yeah, what did you... Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
With this game, it was just a bottle of farts. It could have been anything.
Yes.
Well, it still might be. We can fill it.
That's
true.
You shattered it over the shoulder. Because it was too much fun to be like, him look at it, shrug, and just chuck it.
Were there other genies in there? Because you said you heard... When it smashed, we heard, I was picturing like baby genies, like, Daddy!
You actually could use a genie service 3 times before that. So I was going with the theory that he's an elemental, so his spirit was technically still attached to the bottle and still could have been used twice.
Okay.
But you tossed it, so no.
Yeah.
I live with it.
Well, obviously, yeah. I like the idea of genie service, like it's a maid service.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. So, it's actually...
He already got the really short end of the stick on that one.
He really
I've basically become a mummy fart now.
Yes. All he did was empower the creature we sent him to kill.
Well, he did mess it up pretty bad.
Yeah, he did. He ate-food it, but...
He made it stronger, but also more close to death.
It would have gotten stronger had it healed. Had it had the chance to recover.
Exactly. No, that was a good idea to just attack it at that point, which obviously...
So, Paladi was not a villain. He was just the security guard there. And if you guys had actually talked to him, he was... He actually lost a bet, and he had a gambling problem, and that's why, So I had this whole plot about this whole gambling thing going between him and Tori. Instead, it was just a genie battle to the death.
All the best laid plans by DMs.
It was a great. Like
We've killed more good characters than we've been run from the bad guy,
and we like the bad ones that he doesn't give anything about. Like, ooh, Steve.
We love Steve.
No, Steve was the super nice guy that you threatened every time.
I was right to do it.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, you were right, but still. Actually, you stopped being mean to him when you found out he was evil. So it's really
I didn't want to piss him off. Then.
I'm still a little bummed to realize that I could have had 2 more wishes out of that bottle, but
we don't need that power.
Yeah.
It would have been service. The first roll counts for everything, so he would have only ever been... You would have had 3 periods of time where he would do whatever you wanted for an hour, which still...
Pretty good.
Useful, yeah.
I need you to go back and cuddle with the woman.
It seems like everybody in this mansion actually is kind of on our side.
Fairly benign.
They're not really there because they want to be.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been trying to go with the mansion to not be the true, like the evil the way we sell it, but the way evil kind of is in the world, where they're not all mean jerks who they kind of want to take over the world, they want to spread on death, but that doesn't mean they're walking around being like everyone will die. No, they're
let's talk to this vampire.
They're just living their lives. I said in the mansion.
It was actually more just like an Airbnb that we wandered into while it was being rented.
These were all human beings. I don't know.
I'm just glad that despite our hazing, Liechtenstein still is our friend.
Yeah, that was... I still can't believe that the way that panned out.
Yeah, that one I didn't have anything to do with it, but we wrapped it back around.
No, you and I we just pushed him over.
Yeah. You're just jerks.
We're just jerks. They put on a comedy routine. I can see that would entertain him, but we just shoved him.
Yeah, I mean, after this is over, he doesn't have a job anymore. Maybe we'll go on the road.
Right. Well, take the monster out the sink, putting on the Ritz. Yeah.
The mansion so far has been pretty interesting in that you guys mostly did everything I would say every interaction with every character was like 90% the way I wanted it to go, and then 10% what the hell.
And then we killed the mummy.
and then you got to the mummy, and that just
I got the greed in the eyes when it was just like the butler said he had the ring to help, so I'm just like, we're just going to go ahead and take this.
Yeah. Got to do what we got to do.
Well, plus, I mean, realistically, would Tor with his daughter on the line spend the time to even gamble when it's just like, or I could just take what I want.
Yeah.
What it came down to was the genie popped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the genie hadn't popped out, it would have gone in a very
That's very true.
scenario.
Yeah.
But
Which I guess I'm kind of, in a way, I'm happy with, because when I put stuff like that in there, I want to put this stuff in because it's fun. And
Yeah.
it gives you guys entertainment. It gives you time to screw up my plans and stuff. And I think that's fun.
Yeah.
But once you had a genie, I was going to sweat over that forever. So the fact that that thing came in, did something awesome, is gone, really makes me happy.
I figured it was like it got absorbed and it was done. Like,
That's what I thought,
why
yeah.
I just didn't think it was ever coming back.
Yeah, to be honest, it spur of the moment.
Gotcha.
Like, I had no idea. Like, the idea that you guys would use it to fight the mummy, like, everything was winged there. I was like, I don't know.
That actually
good winging.
that was a practical way, and like you said, we don't have to worry now about like we have a Deus Ex Machina up our sleeves.
Exactly.
now or whatever.
And we would have been like, is this the right? Like even with
Yeah.
I feel bad, but like when we had the
Bjorn.
The Bjorn, yeah.
we're just like we're all about to die on this element.
like,
We're
okay,
just
time
like,
to use
is this the right? It's probably not the right time. Like we're about to die.
That's why I like to give those particular ones out there. I like using them with this group because you guys sit on them. You're not going to waste them because then I can't keep giving them to you.
Yeah.
But if you guys save them to that, we're going to die otherwise, then it's a fun little, will you save yourselves? Because even then, if you use it too late, you're going to die. So it's not like it's a get out of jail free card. Yeah. But it does give you a little bump
helped.
if you need it. Yeah,
When we
which
couldn't kill
also
the
helps.
dinky little water elemental that would have did everything.
Yeah.
We're dying here. Just
No, I'm pretty sure it was because Wrath was drowned.
yeah, he was.
It wasn't the water
We kept
elemental
getting-
fighting us. It was
No, not the big one. There was a small one on deck.
On
and
the
if we
deck.
defeated the big one, would have been defeated too. But that one was handing our asses.
Yeah,
to us.
so
We're
like-
like,
No, if you had defeated the small one, you're
Another
just
one
going to
would
make another small one.
Yeah.
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the whole trick to it.
Well, I
didn't
think
understand that.
Kyle had said eventually that like we were never really supposed to fight the giant one. It was
Yeah.
just a means to get us on the island.
Yeah.
So technically we wasted Bjorn, but we didn't know it at the time,
Yeah.
which is entertaining.
The point of the game is to have an entertaining, fun story,
Yeah.
and
Nope.
you did that.
It's to win.
It's to win.
I win Dungeons and Dragons.
It's us versus you.
You don't want that.
And we're collecting enough now that I can't wait for a spin-off with all our pets.
And now that we have
Belly.
been gold too, it doesn't matter.
That'll be
Beaker and pals.
It'll be like the Justice League pet series, whatever the hell, Crypto and
Yeah. Ace the
Ace the Bat.
Oh, yeah. So Polity, the Siren, Mazer, Liechtenstein, Rempfer, everything went fairly well. I can't.
I'm glad that the butler was nice. Ultimately, I like that.
Because most butlers are jerks.
Yeah, I know. I
Well, the
run
one
with the
we've been
butler,
exposed
and he
to.
sucks. Never heals anybody.
I was trying to figure, like, when I built each one, I did stop and say, okay, why is this instead of just being like, I like werewolves, here's one. I was like, all right, why is there a werewolf here? Why is there a ghost here? And that's literally how it started. I just named a bunch of monsters and said, why would this be in this mansion? And then I tried to fully flesh them all out. And when I got to the butler, I was like, why would a ghost be there? Well, unfinished business. Well, why is he in the house? And then it slowly developed into a butler. And when I looked at him, I was like, yeah, he would just be a guy who's stuck there. And, he's not a jerk. He just needs a way out.
Yeah. And I guess the Vamp Lord then is not good enough companionship for the Siren.
Well, she was alone then.
Oh.
She doesn't, it's sort of in my personal lore for this game, the Siren's curse is the need for companionships. That's why they're always luring people there. It's not because they're, jerks or anything like that. They just...
Would he have had to stay there forever until we came to get him?
Basically, I was going to have it be an hour.
Okay.
Basically, she runs in, she had someone with her for an hour, so she was good for an hour type endless cycle.
Right.
So that was how I was going to run it.
Dig
So
it.
at least I understand now why you cringed when I said it. I let the room on fire.
Yeah.
Well, then he probably would have burned the whole mansion down and sent
was that,
everything
too.
after
Well,
us.
that was actually the real reason for the bridge, was because you were going to wipe out
Take that, monsters.
Yeah, Mazer's not going to be cool. The Houndmaster's not going to be cool with you.
The butler's probably not going to be that great. Yeah.
All of a sudden, everybody was good. You were just going to unleash every monster in that building on you, and I was like, I was drastically trying to think of a way why they wouldn't.
And there is that.
It all makes
Maybe they all hated the Siren.
Good, hate that girl. She makes me snuggle all the time.
That would make for a good sitcom, though. You've got all
Monster
these monsters.
House?
I mean, it's the monsters, as I
Being
said.
human.
Yes,
I was thinking being human.
Yeah, well, I've not watched that yet.
Oh, it's a good show. That's my plug. Give us advertisement money, even though you don't
BBC
exist
America?
anymore.
I just enjoy the concept of just being like, oh, you have to go take care of this distraction over here that I just caused when we take him out of the room.
there's a
It was a
fire.
distraction.
That's
right?
all it was supposed to be. That was the concept.
All right, well, hope you guys enjoyed that one.
It was awful. Take it away.
All right.
That's how we ended.
Replay.
Delete. Thank you for listening to Intelligence Check. This was our last episode.
Yeah, it was a behind the screen Patreon only episode.
Because we're jerks. All right. Well, let's roll forward. I can't wait to see how you guys pan out.
And now, a special episode where we remember Tor. That's that good?
Welcome to Behind the Screen. As Court just said.
That was Court Kevin, kind of.
Kevort.
Kevort.
Caper.
We are here today to say goodbye to Tor.
They're gonna kill me in real life.
You knew what you were getting into.
He said, die in game, die in real life. You signed up.
Okay. What first question I have to ask though was this pretty much what you had in mind when you had the whole you need 100 clerics, but then you probably had in your mind, or you could be one cleric with a lich stone and a willing sacrifice.
Yes, in a way. I actually have to give full credit. Mike came to me long ago and said that if the scenario ever came up that Tor had to give his life to save his daughter, he would be willing. So that planted a little seed in my head. So
doesn't make it any easier.
No, and it was not, full thing. And that's kind of what I was talking. Everybody saw me take Mike away earlier to talk to him alone. He wasn't forced into this. He had options up to the last minute. There were multiple ways, as I try to always put in, to get through this. And that was just one. Like, that was sort of the, oh shit, we're going to use that card. And, I'll be honest, you pulled it a little sooner than I thought you would have.
Really?
Yeah. I thought you were going to hold on until half the party was down at least.
Well, I was the one that was getting picked on, and if I was dead and we couldn't use the moment, there was no point in
that's true.
That's true.
Having
one more hit. He would have.
That was it. That for me, I didn't have another option.
No, that is true. I guess I just assumed people would keep restoring whoever went down, and then you were going to wait.
The way this thing's heading, it's one hit each person. I couldn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'd just like to say, I'm not willing to die for any of you guys or any NPCs. Maybe Ellie, but I'm not planning. I'm not planting that seed for you.
So, at the point that we were at when this happened, and I refuse to say what happened because I'm scarred. But at the point that we were at, I mean, what was the likelihood, if any or none, of us being able to take him down without this happening?
So a lot of that, the be all end all, and I don't want to go into every little detail because Von Uberdorf is still alive.
Right.
You saw the mist leave, so I don't want to give away every possible.
Yeah, I'm gonna call bullshit on that.
There was a dice roll, and actually
Dice roll.
he was a very powerful undead. Also, recurring villain. You gotta love that shit.
But no recurring nemesis for him, or
the whole team now, though.
Yeah,
how much do you think the rest of this team hates him now?
yeah.
And I mean, we did see the dust of Tor on the ground, so I'm assuming if we just add water.
Oh yeah, it's like the Batman '60s movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
They just dehydrate him.
In full disclosure, there was more than a 50% chance of that killing him. And the dice rolls just didn't go with it.
Oh,
and
you rolled well again for your villain character. How well.
Weird.
I'm going to start pointing out how bad they're all bad.
We are just messing with you because we also know how generous you are with us. So.
Damn straight. See how many heroic moments you get next time.
None. Tor still gets them even though he's dead.
If Simon had actually been hitting him with the sword, would that have been going a very different direction?
That's exactly where I was about to go. That sword was very important as far as... I mean, the vampire is way more powerful than you guys were, to be blatant. So I built something in just in case, sometimes the RP takes you to a place you don't want to go, and I didn't want any scenario where it was like, you're all going to die.
Right.
So that's why Simon and the sword existed, so that there was a chance.
You still got a brother out there, right?
No, the brother was actually...
The brother didn't make it through the maze.
Yeah, the brother's another undead that was in the maze, but the path you guys took didn't run you into him. Oh, okay. You actually could have run into his brother on the way through, but... It just didn't come up, unfortunately.
But now we have that sword at least.
Yeah. So now you guys have a kick-ass sword. But So that was, again, one of the ways built in to go around it. And
did destroying the coffin do anything to the Vamp Lord other than miff him up? Oh, sorry.
No, only in that I kind of built that in to destroy it. So you guys didn't know this because you destroyed it without looking. The sword was in the coffin, but it was in the coffin, built into it, so that you couldn't just open it and get it. So you guys never opened the coffin to see it wasn't there to not
Good
get
job,
it.
Ellie.
Yeah.
That's our first smash that thing.
Yeah. So that was the reason I built the coffin in there to begin with. And I actually had never heard the lore that if you destroy their coffin, they got weaker. So I hadn't had anything built in.
Yeah, they
and
need
there
to have
was
their own earth from like their home.
I did hear that. Yeah, I knew that, but that actually has to do with the sleeping, not just
That's true. Yeah.
So anyhow, I just didn't have anything pre-made. I just couldn't think that fast to be.
No, I was just curious. Yeah.
A lot of stuff flying out all the time, so sometimes I just drop the ball. So my apologies there.
You're human like the rest of us.
No, I mean, yeah. I'm a god.
Shoot, I had another question. I can't remember what it was. No, it was clearly
You
not
failed me.
Always.
Yeah. So it was never kind of forced. I didn't want Tor to die, but that being said,
Me either. So,
Yeah, neither
just
did
as
anyone.
a quick question then. I mean, what's the plan going forward for Mike?
well, Mike
you want
has
to
two
hint at
possible.
that?
Yeah, Mike has two possible backup characters that he made. So I'm not going to force him to say now, but he can decide which route he wants to go. I mean, unless you know already.
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
Could be fun, yeah, just to run into him at some point and not know it's his character until he starts talking.
True.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see how you're gonna unveil him.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to force anything, but at the same time, I'm not going to let it go 5 episodes without him coming back because that's not fun for us or him.
Right, yeah.
Plus, he runs the recording equipment. So.
Yeah, so he just won't show up.
Don't
until
worry,
he's back.
I know how to do it too, though. So.
Okay.
You just hit this button.
Could anyone but Simon have wielded the sword?
Yes, absolutely anybody could have. Simon actually,
Oh, I remember what my other question was. Sorry.
his stats weren't great. And that wasn't so that he fopped a lot. It was so that if the vampire went after him, he was going to fall quick so that somebody else could pick up the sword. Because it's not fun with the NPCs beating the bad guy for you.
No, I'm okay with this.
That's convenient, though. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. But it just, again, the way things pan out when people do things, I was kind of hoping he'd hit the guy once because with the sword hit him and hurt him that much, the vampire would have focused on him. The dice just didn't, again, pan out the way you want.
Did his blessings do anything? Like what?
Yes.
What, okay.
Oh, yeah,
Can you
yeah,
tell
yeah.
us what? Or
It was just a basic bonus damage, and actually, I also built in that his healing was slightly less.
okay.
So he was actually a little bit more powerful than the typical vampire lord was because I made him as a sort of, I was hoping was going to be a recurring character because again there were ways to destroy him in this, but they were kind of unlikely. So I assumed he was going to come back at some point. So I wanted to make sure there was, he sort of had a presence.
Allowed to ask where exactly he was hit point
help. That's what I was wondering too.
Full, apparently.
No. He wasn't only because of Wrath. He was not at full health. He was healing faster than you guys were doing damage, or at least you guys were only doing slightly more damage than he was healing because they actually. He gains 20 hit points every turn just because. And then,
Just because. Can I take that? Jeez.
And then whenever he bit someone,
I'm a vampire now.
A werewolf.
We're a vampire.
and then when he bites someone, he heals for the amount of damage he's doing, and that one crit was 45 damage or something like that. So
He's a chunk.
yeah.
Were there other ways we could have gotten out of there that we just missed?
Oh, sure. And again, I don't want to go into that because he's going to be encountered again. I don't want you guys to be like, oh, we know how to da-da-da.
Oh yeah, but not like something environmentally, specifically in that place.
No, because you were in. I actually thought about building in a couple things scenario based, but it was his lair. Why would he? Right. The sword itself was already sort of a more than why would that should have been in a foreign land or something like that. But
It's sad to see Tor go, but on the plus side, you'll have more time to perfect your Norwegian accent.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, that's really what I was worried about.
That's it. No, but it is actually. I was not going in today. I'm always worried about going into like a gameplay, be like, oh god, am I gonna die or one of us gonna die or something? And now we've gotten to this
finally
situation
gotten
where
a loss.
somebody's gone, but he did go on his own accord.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was not just
It
somebody
wasn't-
drowning.
Die.
That would have been stupid.
It was like a voluntary narrative choice, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that's
Which is,
a little more acceptable, but still like, oh.
I mean, I'm just about speechless the way that whole thing worked out. Like,
Yeah. It was much more dramatic that way. It was good.
Yeah.
It got me.
it really
You
did.
got me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to write a song
really
for
did.
tour now.
Yeah.
I wonder what theme
totally
song.
should.
I wonder what
theme song?
I wonder what theme song I'll use for tour.
God, who becomes emperor now?
Yeah, that's the other
Who
question.
becomes emperor?
One of us.
They got hold another competition. That's the last arc of our show is going to be redoing.
Oh, shit again.
Oh, yeah,
go
we
to
just
the
get
runner.
popped into that room.
So, Jesus. Talon Jr. is there. Oh, you guys. He did it.
It doesn't go to one of the runner-ups. No.
Nope.
Nah.
That's the rule of the Empire. I mean, it's clearly stated in the beginning.
Oh, by the way, you know that backup plan you had? The next emperor? Yeah, he's dead too.
Yeah.
Well, at least now we have an elephant for defense.
I am overjoyed. Court has an
We lost a
elephant.
tour, but we gained an elephant.
An elephant.
It evens out.
It kind of balances out.
Anything.
Except the elephant did no damage, but that's not its fault. But
It destroyed the coffin.
It did
and
destroy
freed
the coffin,
sword.
yeah.
So there did
That's very
something. And Ellie's so cute.
yes, she's adorbs.
I'm excited to see what kind of character Mike comes up with next.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Real
I
quick.
was so torn for like most of the because like I couldn't going back to I didn't necessarily want to have to kill myself, but the option of just letting him if we teleported out, then he would have just if he didn't find us, he would have killed most likely the rest of the family, and that wouldn't have been any good.
Yeah, I mean, the storyline was going to go dark here one way or the other, because as far as I could, and I love it when you guys prove me wrong and come up with something I didn't think of, but there was no scenario that I could see where this ended with a happy ending, but it was also supposed to be the dark arc. Like, that was, monsters, and, even though we were talking earlier about how the mansion was kind of amiable, it's like... It was the dark horror aspect, and going through the catacombs, it's trying to really go for that horror slasher aspect. So, kind of was built in that no ending was going to be perfectly happy. But again, if you guys had come up with a way where it did, I would have been elated. I love it when you guys do that to me.
I would like to hear more of Mike's, because we've all been talking about our reactions, but we didn't really give him any idea or space to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. But like Kyle mentioned, I probably came to him about, I don't know, like 6 months, a year ago. And like, that was just a thought that had crossed my mind is like, if that's what it came down to, I mean, the idea that his daughter was slowly turning into a vampire, even from like the day one where we went to the apothecary and I got ingredients being sent back, the concept was that there was some potion that would delay it. And that's what he'd been spending most of his money on for like the smuggling and all that. He didn't need... it wasn't because he was living lavishly. He just needed more money for the medicine. And that was kind of how that ended up getting built. And this wasn't a day one concept, but it all kind of built in a nice way.
Well, if you actually go back and listen, there are hints to it. Mike said a few weird things that didn't seem to fit at some points. But once you know that information, he was constantly sending ingredients or money or something back to his family throughout the whole first arc. Like, he actually brings it up several times. And I thought that was a really cool, nice feature.
Yeah, I mean, it still sucks. Obviously, I was attached to Tor. But
How did you, at what point did you come to that conclusion in the playing of the game?
Today? Do you mean like when, if I was going to do it or not?
Yeah, I mean, did you just see, obviously, just how hopeless the situation was?
It would have been taking the whole team down with me or just me going. Because I didn't see a scenario where we were all going to make it out of this.
Right.
Well, I do want to ask, because I did have that built in just in case. Why did you not even try the solo cleric? Was it just the risk of it not working?
Yeah, I just didn't think it was going to be enough. Because what if I healed her? He would just come back for her.
Yeah.
Was the only concept. Mm-hmm. So it would have been a Band-Aid and we would have been back where we were, and then I wouldn't even had the chance to then fix it. And it seems like more of the fatherly thing to do, where you would just end whatever the root cause is versus just a Band-Aid scenario if you have that chance.
Yeah, certainly.
It's unfair. We didn't have a chance to say goodbye to him.
We said goodbye in our own way by mocking him for healing things that weren't.
Yeah, that's about right.
Don't you
Forget about Tor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else. There's a lot. I don't know what's going to happen next. We'll have to figure that out.
No, I'm looking forward to it, and I think the next episode will be...
Hi, I'm rot oak iron.
Ivory's brother, also named Thor.
I have a drinking problem.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that the whole God concept doesn't exactly get finished. Two other little things too, but that's okay.
Well, we could maybe pick up his slack. I don't
Yeah, and that
that's
is
possible.
Oh, we will
something
carry
I-
on in his name.
Yeah.
That's something I hope happens as if other characters dies. That
And the rest of you
people
come join me in the afterlife.
hypothetically, if something happened to Wrath, I hope that everybody else would be invested in the Onyx Shields. If something were to happen with Cord, I hope everybody would be like, all right, let's see this Jade thing through. You don't have to, but I feel like in real life, if that happened to...
I mean, you've been prepping all these storylines too. I think it'd be unfair to you to be like, I've been prepping for all these. Oh, I guess I can't do that.
Because when a new character comes in, it gives me a ton of new stuff to
That's
work with
true.
too. So
That's true.
As storylines are wrapping up, it is one of those from the DM seat. It's cool because Tor's storyline was wrapping up. Like that was one way or the other. It was pretty much ending today, and obviously you still have the thing with the artifacts.
Wow.
But it's less and less and less as storylines go on. So now I have a new character, whoever he decides to go with, that I can bring all new stuff in.
It'll be fun to see.
Yeah.
Excited.
All right. Well,
And sad.
yeah.
And very, very
I
sad.
guess.
Yeah, you guys better be very sad.
Very, very sad.
Because
All right,
the
to a
concept was he
song.
did still want to save you guys too. It wasn't. Yes, the daughter was the main thing, but she wouldn't have been saved if everyone else died, and he saw that was going in that direction. So
Just,
All appreciate your sacrifice.
Goes to show that
My friend.
when we focus on our character stories, sometimes not all of us are getting out all.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for playing, and
Thank you.
thank Tor for
And thank Mike.
yeah. Thank Tor for his sacrifice, and we'll see you all again soon. Well, not really, because it's a podcast.
Worth saying.
Good night.